Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics with me, Get Daved. So off camera I did a fair bit of grinding. Well, I did 3 fights. And here's our team now. Everyone looks different. That was my goal. So Malcolm the generic, I switched to a priest just for now. He's only got Cure and Protect, but those are both good abilities. Protect makes you take less damage, Cure restores your HP. And made myself a knight, because that's how I roll. So I don't think I actually have any battle skills, any knight abilities, but I did get a ton of the good Squire ones. Particularly Accumulate. I should have mentioned this, but Accumulate just makes your strength power, or your physical attack, go up by 1 point during a fight. It's actually really good for grinding for job points too, because it gives you an action that does something, right? Snap elected to leave on Squire for a little longer, just to help everyone else learn their abilities faster. The main rationale for that was I wanted to make him an archer, but nobody sells bows or bowguns yet. Bowguns are what they call crossbows. And Ramza is still Squire as well, because Ramza actually has more than just the typical Squire abilities. Anyway, Sweegy Woods! And you know what? I'm going to try leaving Agnes out for this fight, because I want to show you the priest class, and you are already very familiar with the chemist. The chemist is a class that's always pretty good. They never... Like, later on in the game, an X potion only restores 150, so that's their max healing potential. But they're still very good, even in the end game. And they can use guns, which is really nice. Yeah, Delita and Algus don't get along, and I kind of like Delita. As much as you can like anyone in this game. They're all shades of grey, except Ramza, who's a bit of a goody two-shoes. He'd do well to be a little bit more calculating. One important thing I didn't mention earlier, I kind of gave a simplified version of the action gauge. How it works is everybody starts at 0, and then there's these things called clock ticks, which basically increments everyone's action gauge by however much their speed is. So if you have a speed of 6, it goes up by 6. As soon as someone's over 100 is when it starts deciding who gets to go. And in the event that 2 people are over 100, it goes by your unit number, and then the highest unit number goes first, which means the enemies will always act first if they have similar speed values. So, it's just an important consequence to keep in mind. Squires are not as strong as knights, but they have an extra movement square. I've got battle boots on Get Daved, so he can move just as much as a squire, but take off the battle boots and it's 1 less. Yeah, I reached job level 1. Okay, so this is going to be our first chance to see the priest character in action. And with my first bit of white magic. Now, if I cast Protect on this tile, you see the area of effect is reaching out from it. They have to be on similar heights, which is why I can't affect Ramza and myself and that enemy at the same time. So you can cast on a tile and then have the area of effect reach other people. So that's important thing 1. If you press left, or pardon me, if you press right, that other direction, you'll get to see the turn order. It's important that you not expose yourself to attack while you're casting a spell. Now, I think we're relatively safe, and I guess we'll pretty much find out. So the 2 red goblins and the 2 bombs are going to go, and I think we're at a safe distance. It's also worth pointing out that basic black and white magic do not discriminate friend from foe. You can accidentally heal enemies very regularly, actually, and same with black magic. You can torch yourself. As a matter of fact, getting torched by your own spell is an important lesson everyone needs to learn. Malcolm's got nice high faith, so he has a very high success rate with his magic, and way to contribute, Delita. I'll pick up the stone and bang! Alright. So, yes. High faith equals high percentage success rate and high raw damage, raw healing numbers too. The faith of the caster and the target are both important. Cartels. Alright, I actually really like how we're postured in this fight. My characters are on a pretty high level for this point in the game, but I really do like the early steps of getting your characters to gain their first few levels, because they grow up so fast, they progress so quickly. I could have killed him with Ramza, but I wanted Snap to get the experience. Fortunately... Oh, job level up, that's nice. Ooh, 30 damage, that's very good. However, that was actually nothing special. There was no super Zodiac boost there. Alright, 2 enemies will go during the casting period, but that's not the end of the world. So Snap and myself are both missing HP. So what we gotta do, I believe spells have a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I want to cast on this tile here, and Cure has slightly better up and down range than Protect does, so I'm hoping it'll hit both of them, but I want to get closer without exposing himself to danger, to getting hit while he's casting, basically. So we'll just count back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you get poisoned if you stand in water, like in toxic water. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. If the enemy is smart, they'll try getting into there. And actually, I have opened myself up to getting hit while charging, so... Or not. Advantage Dave. So the increased healing that happened on the knight is because of the higher faith score on the knight. And there's a lot of interesting strategies that involve maxing and minning faith. One of the super parties you can make in the game is a group of knights, all wielding just the best sword you can get them, and then they have super high brave and super low faith. They're extremely good unless you put them up against the horde of monks, in which case they get decimated, but we'll sort of learn why later on, once we start having access to some of these classes. Nice work, Algus. Bombs are kind of dangerous. They do have the ability to explode, and they give you the oil status, which makes you extremely vulnerable to fire attacks. So I'm gonna dispatch them before they think it's worth it. It's a little, actually we should just heal Algus, that's all there is to it. Alright, now we have the choice of targeting the unit or the panel he's standing on. If Algus moves, the spell will travel with him. So that's one way of increasing the distance between the two of you. And you can, if you're really clever, you can use it to piggyback spells to very far off targets. Because whoever Algus is standing next to when that spell fires, they're gonna get healed. Throw stone. It's so weak, but is actually an extremely useful ability, especially because it can knock them back, so every once in a while you'll get the chance to do the amazing thing of knocking someone off of a rooftop with a stone that does like 3 damage, but the fall does maybe, oh, I don't know, 50? Fall damage increases exponentially with height, so you can really decimate someone with a nice long drop. Hopefully this will finish him off. There we go. And now there are no real threats left to us. Red goblins are extremely weak. Oh, I mean, any enemy that has counter is a bit of an increased threat. But one thing I feel I should mention... I'm just going to have him use Accumulate. Get some free job points. And some free experience points, for that matter. Yeah, one thing I feel I should mention, you do not get experience points off of counterattacks, so if you really are into maximizing efficiency, you should not use counterattacks or counter-tackle or any of those abilities that make you do damage that you don't get experience points for. Just something to consider. I don't think... It's not too beneficial to get too caught up into that, but just remember, the more raw damage you're doing, the shorter the fight is. So again, things like wielding 2 swords and thus doing more damage that way, that will lead to a shorter fight and fewer actions on your part. You'll notice that I'm getting fewer job points with the Knight than I am with the Spires. It's because the number of job points you get is related to your job level, and a couple other things. Generally speaking, the more experienced you are, the higher the level, the higher everything, the more JP you get. So we're going to indirectly heal Ramsey here. I'm excited for you guys to see the very first major backfire from this stuff. It'll come. And actually the first time you can take advantage of an enemy unit that way, too. There's nothing quite like having a spell targeted on you and just walking right up next to somebody else and just letting them burn with you. The treasure boxes have some value to them. The crystals, enemy monsters don't have abilities, so, or at least not ones that you can learn. So there's not too much point grabbing the crystal unless you just need full HP. I'm actually gonna wait around for a second, just so we can see, so we can loot the treasure boxes, because I'm a stickler like that. Although there would be some value in getting more MP for the character there. Soft. Not bad. Cures, the stone status ailment. Pretty rare one in this game, but I mean, if you get hit with it, you're screwed. Oh, Algus will probably ruin everything. Yep. That's okay, I didn't want to know what was in those treasures. That could have spawned. Dorter Trade City. What a wonderful stage. Typically, if you're playing this game, everything goes well, whether or not you level up until this point. Dorter Trade City, though, that'll put the fear of God in you. Alright, we're going to end the video here. Next time, I hope it lives up to the hype. I'll see you there.